Cheers, big ears, and welcome to the Beach Travel Wine Podcast. We are your hosts, Leanne.
And I'm Lyle.
And we are not your usual travel influencers. No, we've decided we want to be travellers that travel under the influence. Okay, good joke?
Reasonable.
Well, there's plenty of more where that come from. So join us as we travel the world, one wine at a time. Well, hola Lyle, here we are back in our Beach Travel Wine International podcast studio, and today we're talking about our 4 days in the capital of Spain, Madrid.
Hola, mi amor.
We arrived in Madrid from Zaragoza by the fast train, which of course arrives in at Atocha station.
Yeah, it took about an hour and 10,
Yep.
Arrived back about 1:30.
Yeah, quick, easy, clean, beautiful,
Yeah.
fabulous trip. So,
Yeah.
And because where we were staying was about a kilometre, and we knew it was up one road, we decided we were going to walk rather than get a taxi.
But what we didn't realise was that it was all uphill.
Yeah, I always thought Madrid was flat, but idiot, it's what is it? It's like the
Yeah, it's the second highest European city.
European capital city.
Yeah, above sea level.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't
And
know
then
that.
the one that actually is the highest is on the Pyrenees. So
Of course, that makes sense, doesn't it? Duh. But it was honestly uphill with a 20 kilogram bloody suitcase and a dicky leg, and Lyle's got his dicky arm. We struggled a bit, but a little bit like old pensioners, but we got there. And we're walking down the street that we're in, and you know, all we can see are roller doors with graffiti on them, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, because we stayed in Madrid twice before in the same place, which was really nice, overlooking the Royal Palace. And I'm just like, oh, have we made a mistake, you know, going somewhere new? But anyway, this is where we were. So we went in, checked in, and how do we get to our room, Lyle?
if it's not the oldest lift in the world, it's probably the second oldest. It's you can see the
cables?
The cables and the actual box, I suppose you'd call it.
The cage?
The cage, yeah. And, it was different.
We had to squeeze in with our suitcases,
Yeah.
and we were tummy to tummy.
Yeah, I could see the concern on Leanne's face, but my attitude was, well, it's been going for a long time. Chances are it's still going to keep going. But we got there.
Yeah, we did. And we're on the third floor and hop out into this grand big corridor, and we open the door and walk into the apartment, and we hear
a mystery sound.
a horrific sound. I'm going to play it for you now, and just try and imagine this is what you hear when you enter your apartment, will you? Just have a listen to this. Okay, could you imagine what that sound was? Like, have you thought about it? Because that is, what was it, honey?
That was the floor of the apartment.
Yeah.
And what is that? What
creaking when we walked on it.
Yeah, it was like a wooden floor.
Yeah.
And it had that many screws.
They've obviously tried to stop it.
Tries to stop it,
oh
but
my God,
without success.
That was horrendous. So any step you took, you know, it just creaked like that the whole time. So.
Yeah, so if you wanted to get up reasonably,
go to the toilet,
you know, nervous squirt in the morning, you couldn't do it silently.
No, you could not. But I reckon it's Spain's new burglar alarm system, because no one's going to be able to sneak into your house with that sort of noise going on. Anyway, I guess we got used to it because...
Well, you really only hear it when you're walking around, so most of the time you're, you know, in bed. If you're in bed, you're in bed, and if you're doing anything else, you're generally sitting around. But was it annoying? Yeah, it was. However, the rest of the place was great.
Yeah, apartment was really good. Spacious, you know, a couple of sitting areas, little kitchenette, nice bathroom, you know, and... you know, besides thinking it wasn't in a very good area, after I'd actually been told it was, we actually went out that afternoon and discovered it was actually in a great area. And
yeah, the area is called the Las Letras Barrio.
See.
After a bit of investigation, It's a fabulous location. It's got all the cultural areas. It's got the flamenco bars, and with all the beautiful tile from floor to ceiling. There's the
theatre.
The Madrid.
Currently playing Kinky Boots in Spanish.
There
are some Kinky Boots in Spanish.
Plaza del Sol, which is the main plaza, which is so close.
Plaza Mayor.
Plaza Mayor. So you couldn't pick a better location.
Yeah, and close to everything. So we decided, we'd obviously been to Spain before, and one of the first places you head is Plaza Mayor, which is a great big square in the middle of the city, and so we went there first. And it is huge, isn't it, honey?
Yes, it is big.
Yeah.
So that's my cue for saying how big it is. And it is 129 metres by 94 metres.
Yeah, that's just the inside of the square. So
correct.
On the top, that's the edge of the square. So on the outside of that, you've got all the shops and restaurants all around the outside, and it's it's like 3 stories high, and there's apartments there as well, and balconies, isn't there?
Yeah. There's 273 balconies and 2 steeples. There's a huge statue of Philip III on horseback in the middle, and that was erected in 1848.
And it's all paved and cobblestoned, and there's a water feature there too, probably. There's water features
actually, well, as Leanne said, it's 3 stories, but originally it was 5.
Yep.
And unfortunately, there had been 3 major fires go through over history, and now they stick with the 3 stories.
It's like a council building there too, isn't it? And it's Baroque, isn't it? Like it's the architecture. It's it is quite nice. We had a drink there, but they've got all the big umbrellas out with the water mist coming out, and it is very touristy though. But you do. I know when you go to Madrid, you need to go there. But go and have a look. There's a couple of authentic sort of bars there. There's one called what's that one with the bulls in it, darling, that we went into?
La Torre del Oro.
Okay. Oh, it's very nice. Oh, hello. You can tell me that again later. Thank you. It's
just call me Jose.
Okay. It is a bar inside which has maybe a dozen taxidermied bullheads. The whole bar is dedicated to bullfighting, and the only reason we went there is because I heard about it on a podcast. Podcast's great, and it's worth a look inside. I don't know that the Spanish barman inside were expecting us gringos to go in. They also looked at you like you're supposed to be out in the plaza. Yeah,
the older wait staff generally, I think, have a belief that Spain is for the Spanish, not necessarily the gringos.
Well, the inside, they're happy to serve you outside.
But inside it's sort of,
It's like an old Spanish boys club. But don't be intimidated, because just walk on in. And once we ordered, we had a drink there and had a look around, they were fine, I think they're just not used to tourists going inside. So that was really cool. There's lots of entrances in, and there's lots of tourist shops, and just beware, there's lots of hawkers around as well trying to sell you stuff, and you just say no thank you. That's all you need to say it firmly, and off they go. So that was Plaza Mayor.
But you haven't.
Oh, what did I forget?
Well, what was it used for?
Oh, well, I don't know, Long.
Firstly, it was used for executions.
Would they chop heads off or burn?
Basically, both actually,
okay.
both.
Oh, nice.
Then it advanced a little bit further to hosting football games, bullfights, and now it currently has the Christmas markets.
Okay, well, it's useful then.
Sure.
Besides being a tourist attraction there. I mean, you've got people dressed up in, Spider-Man costumes, taking photos, and the statues where they stand still on a pole, and it's all about take some coins with you, so you can just that's give them to the street performers. There's always someone to give money to.
People they're just trying to earn a living.
And it adds to the atmosphere of it, of course.
Sure. Anyway, we decided we were going to head back. We were pretty tired because we really didn't sleep that well the night before. Only due to the fact that we knew we had to be up reasonably early and get to the train.
I'm an anxious traveller, damn it.
So, but on the way, we saw a sign that said mojitos, 2 mojitos for €10. Couldn't resist. We went in and met Eduardo.
And this bar is diagonally opposite the entrance to our apartment. And we actually realised when we saw that bar, there was a few other little bars opened and restaurants there. And right on the little plaza, right near our, like literally 10 metres from our front door, called Plaza Mayor, I think is how you pronounce it. Stupid. So we went and had a couple of mojitos later, didn't we?
Yeah, sure. And that was at Bar Imperfecto.
El Imperfecto.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty perfect, actually.
And then we went right next door for dinner to a restaurant, which was, can't remember, it was
the Casina del Ser.
Which means Kitchen of the South. And we were just over walking and trying to go to different bars to get food, and we just wanted to sit down and have a restaurant meal. So that was really nice.
We met
dog poo.
No, hang on. We met Sergio.
See,
Sergio was very nice.
Yes.
And anyway, we sat down and had a meal. Our first course was uncooked prawns with Dijon mustard.
Oh, okay.
Leanne questions whether they were cooked or not. I distinctly
Don't come
remember.
the raw prawn with me.
Yeah. So we had the raw prawn. So and it was beautiful. Yeah. And then what Leanne called the dog poo, which was partridge pate. And look, I've got to agree. It did look suspect.
I nearly couldn't eat it. I thought I was going to gag.
However, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was delicious.
And then we had a mushroom dish.
Yeah, that was yummy.
And
it was good.
And then Sergio gave us a present. And
Lyle's not making fun of him. That's how he talked. He was lovely.
He was
so nice.
Yeah. He was so nice, but very particular. And then he came and gave us a free drink as his present to us. So Leanne couldn't help herself. What did you do, Leanne?
Well, I gave him the second koala award. And
correct.
And he ran back into the kitchen and was jumping around showing his friends.
He was beside himself.
He was. So that was good. So back to the apartment. Creak. Don't get out of bed for the night to go to the toilet, otherwise you'll wake the whole building up. Ready for a big full day in Madrid, which I was so excited because we woke up, made ourselves a cup of tea, and then we headed off to
El Retiro Park.
Sí, Retiro Park. Huge, beautiful park. There's a theme here, isn't there, with me and gardens and parks. Right in the centre of Madrid, and it's 126 hectares. It was years ago. How long ago was it? Was like actually a hunting forest ground.
Yeah, it basically belonged to the Spanish monarchy until the late 19th century, and then basically passed on to the public. It was granted the UNESCO World Heritage Award in 2021, so that's not that long ago. Originally it was created in 1680, opened to the public in 1767. Look, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, so there's like 15,000 trees or something like that?
Yeah, 15,000 trees.
And they're not, like they're...
Give or take a tree.
Yeah. They're massive trees, beautiful, big, shady trees, and they've got lots of little areas where obviously the locals go and have picnics and that, and enjoy the coolness of under these trees. There's a couple of special spots though in the park that we love, and the first one for me is like right in the centre is the Estanque del Retiro, which is Retiro Pond. And it's a man-made pond right there. It used to have an island in the middle where they used to have performances. So I don't know what happened to that.
Yeah, that was the original plan from the monarchy. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's and at the back of the pond there's a huge semicircular colonnade and a monument of King Alfonso XII, and it's quite big too. That monument, isn't it, Don?
Yes, that was erected in 1902. It's 30 metres high, 86 metres long, and 58 metres wide. So it's bloody huge.
Yeah.
And it's cast in bronze.
Yeah, lots of columns and statues, as well as that main one of King
It's probably the
Alfonso.
most impressive monument I've ever seen.
Yeah, okay, that's a big call. Definitely the best one in Madrid.
Well, with the backdrop of the pond as well. And being in...
Retiro Park there.
Yeah, Retiro Park.
Yeah, it is nice. Now, there's rowboats. I reckon there's 100. Maybe some have sunk. I don't know. And so, you can hire one of those and row your boat. But this year, they've added the Barco del Sol, which is a solar-powered boat. It's a double-hull, big-ass boat, really, that, just going round and round on this pond.
It's not that big a pond, so it looks...
Oh, no, and you can see more on the outside. And I'd be worried about, running over some of those little rowboats. So I don't know that that's a good idea, but the locals or, people were enjoying that. We had a nice cup of coffees just sitting there looking at it. And as Lars sort of, pointed out to me, we saw, a lady. Well, they say they're gypsy ladies. And what do they do, don't they?
Basically, they present you with sprigs of rosemary for good luck and that sort of thing. And basically, they make out it's for free and, they're doing you a favour. But as soon as you take hold of that, basically they ask for money. And they can be quite aggressive in their approach. So just be aware. Try not to make eye contact. Definitely don't take the sprigs of rosemary off them.
But be firm. No,
be firm. But
walk away.
They'll leave you alone as long as you make it clear that you're not interested. If you're sort of second guessing and maybe, they're not going to let you go. So they won't leave you alone.
All right. So we've done the pond, and then we head to the second part that we really like in Retiro Park.
Palacio de Cristal.
Ah, muy bien, mi amor. Now look at you go.
De nada.
See? You'll be fluent before we're done. So it's the glass palace, basically. So it was built as an exhibition area because you couldn't live in it because it's all the walls and ceiling, a big sort of rounded domed ceiling made of glass panels. It's impressive. You walk up and once again there's another pond and it's got these beautiful trees sort of over the pond and a fountain sort of spurting out of the pond, and then you look there and there's this great big building,
basically based on wrought iron with glass panels.
Yeah. So,
it's really impressive.
Yeah, it is.
The last time we were there, we couldn't go inside because they were actually cleaning the glass, whereas this time we were fortunate enough to be able to go inside, and Leanne was so impressed with the art.
The art installation.
Oh, you're going
to make fun of me. That's a not for sharing, that one, Lol.
It's too late. But I'm totally in agreement with Leanne.
It's a big cardboard box cut into pieces, lined up, and white toilet paper thrown at it. That's what it looked like to me.
Sure. And I totally agree. It looked bloody awful.
Well, it depends what it's trying to do, really.
Okay, what was it trying to do?
I forget. But it wasn't. But do you know what? It doesn't matter because we were inside the palace. We got some nice pickies, we were Instagramming ourselves there. And it was lovely to be able to go inside this time.
Sure.
See or not?
See.
So then you can actually walk around this little pond and through like a little tunnel and a little cave, and there's ducks and turtles and just lush green grass going down to the pond, and it's a pretty magical spot in Retiro Park. And then last time we found this little place and we wanted to find it again, and you sort of it's like you go out of the park, across a little road, but it's sort of part of the park. Anyway, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the special garden of the king, because it looks like it was set up as a garden. It's got the formal lines to it. It's got the water feature down the middle. It's got the topiary hedges, and then the massive flower plantings, and and through the park you've got like the bougainvillea, which is bright pink. You've got the impatiens, which are hot pink and red, and begonias, which are red. columns, like a archway full of columns covered in ivy, and a big sort of circular garden in the middle with a big Spanish flag. And then you turn around and there's peacocks just sort of sitting amongst the flowers. That's
it's spectacular. There's no, that's the only word I can use to describe it, is spectacular.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, that's our three sort of favourite parts of Retiro Park. And do you like something else, did you, darling?
Well, as we walked, probably trying to find an exit,
that's right, yeah.
There is an annual book fair. And when you talk about book fair, I think there was something like 400 exhibitors.
Okay.
And each exhibitor had like a display unit. And it just went on and on and on. And unfortunately, all the books are in Spanish, so there was no point really in us buying a book. But we did buy a cerveza. It was that time of the day.
Yeah, but it was really nice to wander around.
Oh, it's impressive.
Yeah. We were very lucky to come across that. Then, though, it was time for lunch, so we decided we would head to the Plaza del Sol.
Sure.
And when we got there, it's where there's a statue of a bear. It's one of the most famous sort of landmarks in Madrid. But the whole plaza is cordoned off at the moment. But at the time of recording this, it's June 2022. So they're obviously, redoing it, and it'll probably come back bigger and better than ever. But we did find somewhere nice to have menu del dia, which is menu of the day, which is like a 3-course meal. So you can get them for around €9, but right in the centre of Madrid, this one was about 13, I think.
Yeah, we had...
And includes a drink.
Yeah, so it was Café del Principe, yeah. Café del Principe. And it was 3 courses for $13.90.
Euro.
Yeah. So, and that includes a drink.
So it was a pretty good meal, though.
Yeah. So we had...
a prawn salad with pineapple, was it?
Sure.
Yeah.
And we had grilled fish, grilled chicken.
Yeah.
And I had what I would describe as I was pudding of the day. I called it bread and butter pudding. And seriously, it was fabulous.
Yeah, I just had nice fresh watermelon, which I felt like,
Yeah. And anyway, we had, and then we had an extra couple of glass copa of vino blanco, and the vino blanco was only €2.90, and the total bill was €36, which for a 3-course lunch and 4 glasses of wine, $54 Australian. Damn good value. Yeah,
very good value. So we wandered home through a Plaza Santa Ana, which is close to where we stayed. I think we had one drink, and I think we went and got some sandwiches that night from the little supermarket, which is once again right 2 doors down from our place, and headed home, didn't we? That was
not quite. You were right. You were right when you said we had a couple of more drinks. We had one drink each more, and then I overheard an Aussie accent.
Was that night?
That was that night.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
And so Leanne decided that she was going to go over and say hi. So we met Dave and Gary.
That's right.
Or as Leanne called them, Davo and Gaza. They were 2 school teachers from Australia originally. One of the guys lives in Portugal now. Really nice guys. So
and Gary lives in Brisbane. So we had a nice chat with them, and we said, "Look, nice chat. We're off to have a drink at a special bar here in."
And that is Cerveceria Almana. Cerveceria Almana. And that's where Ernest Hemingway used to sit, and we actually sat in the exact table and chair that Ernest Hemingway sat, and
we learnt that from a podcast as well. But
and then Dave, because we got free tapas there, because it was a little bit like the El Toro de Ora bar. The guys were a bit older, the waiters. And Spain for the Spanish.
But he said, I asked them, have you got a table? Like, Mesa para Cuatro? And he said no, like, because they had tables outside. And I asked him, well, what about inside? And he looked at me like, see, he looked at me like, like, oh, what, you want to sit in there? And there was not a person inside, But I'm like, yeah, we did. So we sat there at that table, and Hemingway used to go there because it was like the haunt of the
bullfighters.
Yeah, right. And he wanted to pick their brains, to write.
Yeah, he wasn't for the bullfighting, but he wanted to understand the Spanish point of view on it.
Yeah.
And that my highlight of that particular, which is going to sound pretty average, but my highlight was that Dave talked me into having my first sardine tapa.
Oh yeah, that was. I remember that. I didn't have mine. I had another one. But, free tapper. One drink, free tapper.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. So that was our day.
And then home sandwiches for dinner.
Sandwiches for dinner. Okay, so we decided that, or I decided that I was going to take Lyle to be a bit cultural. And so we hadn't done any museums in Madrid. So we went to the Reina Sofia Museo. Museo de Reina Sofia. So which is an art gallery which houses lots of Spanish artists, but in particular it has some pretty famous artists.
Yes, the two that stand out would probably be Pablo Picasso and Salvador Dali.
And I wanted to go there because there's one particular painting called La Guernica, and I'd heard about it. I'm sounding like a broken record here on a podcast, all about that painting. But first, we just sort of had a wander through, saw some nice Picassos and some Salvador Dali paintings, and then we found our way inside this massive, big art museum to the room which held El Guernica, and this painting takes up a whole wall. Lyle would know the dimensions, I imagine.
3.5 metres by 7.8 metres, correct.
And it was painted in 1937. And Picasso painted it, from what I've learnt, because basically it was an anti-war painting.
Yeah, basically it's an oil painting on canvas by Picasso. Critics regard it as the most moving and powerful anti-war painting in history.
Yeah.
And basically Picasso would not hang it in Spain until Franco was out of power. Eventually,
and it went to New York, wasn't it?
Yeah, the New York Modern Art Museum.
And then to get it back, and this is what the podcast I was listening to, they brought it back sort of under the shroud of secrecy, just on a normal commercial flight. And because it's so big, can you imagine, they had to just put it in the hull with the other luggage, and all of a sudden it appeared back in Madrid, but not until the 1980s.
Yeah, 1981.
Yeah. So it's a really fascinating story. It's worth having a look at that. It's a pretty full-on painting too.
Yeah. I think with both Picasso and Salvador Dali, and I'm no critic, and I've got really no idea what I'm talking about, but you can just tell they're paintings.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
They're
some
just
nice ones.
Yeah, they're just different.
Yeah, liked them. So that was a nice, once again, less than a kilometre walk from where we're staying in our apartment. And then we decided we were going to go and check out a fancy suburb or barrio in Madrid.
Yeah, thanks to Paul.
Yeah, Paul from When in Spain podcast.
When in Spain, yeah, he mentioned this particular barrio, which is Salamanca barrio, and he said that it was very, very upmarket.
Yeah, so we went for a walk, and once again, walking the city, we're walking up the Paseo through the middle of the road. It's, those big trees overhanging, it's shady, it's cool breeze, it's pleasant. You go past a couple of major roundabouts. One of them's got like a big statue of Neptune in it and some water. And
the Neptune.
The
Neptune, hang on, Neptune fountain. Plaza Canovas del Castillo, That's the Neptune Fountain, is what Leanne called it. And then you go past the another fountain, which is the Plaza del Plaza Cibeles.
Yeah.
And that's...
it's a big line-drawn carriage, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's
and they're in the middle of these plazas, and they've got they're like
roundabouts, really.
Sure, but it's not. They've got those in the middle. They've got water features, and then there's like garden beds around the outside of them as well.
Yeah, and there was also another really big monument, and that was the Porta del.
It looks like
Alcalá. Yeah, it really reminded me of the Arches de Triomphe.
Arc de Triomphe. It's like the gates to the city, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once again, a big roundabout full of garden beds.
Yeah, and that was put there by King Philip IV.
So an impressive walk just to get to Salamanca. And when you get to Salamanca, you know you're there because you've got, Dior,
any
Rolex.
big label you can think of is there. Mm-hmm. And again,
you think you're intimidated by the authentic Spanish bars. I'd rather go in there any day than some of those.
We actually walked into one of the shops, and I don't think I get intimidated real easy. But I said to Leanne, "Let's get out of here. Yeah. We don't belong here. Let's just not. It's not our go." But interestingly enough, we stopped and had a look at a few of the menus, and we actually had because it was about midday. It was time for another cerveza. And although it's very, very ritzy, and that's no exaggeration, the prices are not that... They're probably even less than Australia.
Sure.
Like for food and drink.
But it's worth walking up there, as I said. We're going past those roundabouts and those plazas and, through the streets of the impressive shops. There's even... there was another sort of monument down further, the Casa de America. You can go into that as well. And then we came across a flower market, and it went for blocks, and beautiful, just fresh flower stalls. Once again, I'm talking about gardens and flowers. We just happened to come across them, which was lovely. It was just a really nice way to spend the day exploring Madrid, and you're seeing things that you don't if you don't walk.
Well, the other side of it too, as you were saying, like you're walking along and you're seeing these huge fountains, and they, architecturally, I suppose, I'm not sure that's the right word, are so impressive. But then beyond that, because basically they're roundabouts, you can look right into the city, the Plaza del Sol.
There's big domes with the gold gilded on top, and then there's other museums you'll walk past, and it's quite close to Retiro Park again, so it's just beautiful wandering around the city. So. Yeah. But after that walk, it was another siesta time, and we decided we were going to go out this night and try and find some of the authentic Spanish tapa bars that Paul from When in Spain and Chris from Spanish Wine Collective, they had a podcast about this, and so we just listened to that and decided we wanted to try and find some of this. Now, we started... The first place we went to, they were full, so we couldn't get in there. So we just thought, this is a great start. We'll start with the gin and tonic at this place, which was really fancy. And they were playing, they were playing Australian music. Tones and I, was it?
Yeah, Tones and I. Yeah.
It was good. And the lady behind the bar was singing, and that was fun. But I don't know. I reckon that was about 10 gin and tonic in one, because I was off my face.
The place was called Belissa.
Okay.
They were massive gin and tonics. Really, it was just a real mood enhancer, that drink.
Yes.
And Leanne said
more than a dust settler.
They were huge. It was. I would have thought, because they don't use measures here.
No,
I think I mentioned that before.
Yeah.
I would say there was at least 4 to 5 nips of gin, with one
bottle of tonic,
one small bottle of Fever Tree tonic.
Yeah.
And so no wonder there was a certain glow when we walked out.
Yeah.
But as Leanne said, the chick behind the bar was dancing to all the music, but she obviously noticed us bobbing our heads along to Tones and I.
Yeah.
And after that particular song, she pointed to us and said, "Aussies, And of course, yeah. So, and that was a nice feel.
Nice start. So we need to move along to...
Okay, we went to Casa Tony.
Okay, that was next.
Casa Tony,
Yeah. And, wow, that was because they're already a bit, got the glow on. We go in there and they just sort of don't look at you. You sort of stand there and wait, and then, they obviously have a process. So we got a table.
Well, we sat at the bar originally.
Yeah, that's what I mean, the process. So, and then when the table comes available, they move you down there, and you have the free tapa there?
No. We had the tapa was...
pork. Pork skewer.
We had a pork skewer, and we had... garlic and chili prawns.
We had a bit of prawns with our garlic.
Yeah, that's correct. And we had 4 copa verdejo, and the whole thing cost us €23.40, which basically is $35 Australian. Very authentic, very busy, very slow service, but fabulous food.
Yeah, we loved it there, and yeah.
I better explain this. Leanne tried to sell a koala to one of the hawkers, right? Now, as we've said, we've had the gin and tonics, we've had a couple of glasses of wine, so the glow's there. But this guy's come up, because which they do, they come into the bars.
They're friendly enough, though.
And they've got all the stuff that they want to sell, all the fake stuff,
and,
Anyway, so this guy comes up and starts trying to sell something to Leanne. So Leanne pulls out the Koala Award. And Leanne's saying €5. No, you start off with 5.
Okay.
And then you realise that was too cheap.
Yeah.
And he offered one in the replacement. And then you said, no, €10. Anyway, it was hilarious. And the waitress that was on, she hadn't smiled the entire time.
Listen for a minute. You hear the bells? Oh, what time's that?
Midday.
Okay, bells ringing.
Mediodía.
See? I don't know what that signals, but the bells are ringing in the back.
Mediodía signals midday. That's how you say it.
Dag, I know, but why would they be ringing the bells? Anyway, so yeah, I thought I'm going to get these hawkers. They try and sell me stuff. I'm going to try and sell them a cheap ass little, stuffed koala with a boomerang on it from Australia. And then he tried to swap me 2 bracelets, and I'm like, no, €10. That's it. I'm not going any.
And what Leanne couldn't see was behind her, the waitress that hadn't smiled for probably the hour we had been in there, was actually laughing because she could understand what was going on, because the guy was talking to Leanne in Spanish and Leanne was talking to the guy in Spanish, so the waitress obviously understood what was going on. Anyway, eventually the guy disappeared, and then Leanne decided to give the waitress the
award,
the koala award.
She was working her ass off.
Oh yeah, Jesus, they work hard.
There's 2 of them. Tony's cooking,
yeah,
and she's doing everything else. And you think they're not friendly? They're just busy.
Yeah,
and they're just doing their thing.
Yeah.
They're not there to talk, to make friends. They're just there to do the job and give you your food and drinks, and off you go. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but we weren't done with our tapa crawl though. Thanks to Paul and Chris. Where did we go next?
So, well, just when we walked out, we both looked around and looked at the waitress, and she was very, very happy with us.
Yeah.
So
we
that
made
was
a night, I think.
Yeah. So then, next we went to, let me see, Casa del Abuelo.
See.
Again, recommended, and we had the cheese and jamon.
Jamon and queso, see.
We had another couple of copa verdejo. And that was...
Which, for those who don't speak Spanish, that's glasses of wine.
Yeah, that was €30, which is basically $45.
Wasn't cheap, but nice. I love jamon in Spain. It's gone up a lot, I reckon, the jamon. Used to get it really cheap. I don't know if I'm imagining that or not. But yeah, so once again, bullheads.
Sure.
See?
Sure. And then we went to La Venencia. Oh, this was Leanne's favourite.
It was a sherry bar, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. We realised, one thing. Sorry, sherry lovers, we don't like it.
Yeah, it was basically opened in 1930. It just sells 5 types of sherry, and there is no English spoken behind the bar. The sherry was really, really cheap. And from my point of view...
Still overpriced.
Well, it's understandable. It's very, very cheap. But anyway, we did it.
The interior is great.
Oh, yeah, if you like dust.
Oh, stop it. I thought it was like, I don't know. Anyway, it was, by that time I wouldn't care what I ate or drank, to be honest.
At that stage we're on a roll. So we decided, because we heard about this rooftop bar
at Plaza Santa Ana.
Yeah, at the Plaza Santa Ana. And so we
should have gone home 2 bars ago.
Yeah, we're looking bulletproof, so we decided we're going to go there. Anyway, we've gone through the big door.
It's like a big rotating door, anyway.
It's an airlock door, if you understand what we're saying. Anyway, we walked up and Leanne, fronts the gentleman and...
In Spanish, I say, can we go up to the rooftop?
Yeah, and he was very, very polite and basically said, unfortunately...
No. He said no.
Unfortunately, there's a private function. And Leanne, the skeptic in Leanne, thought, that's bullshit. Yeah. But anyway, so we left through the same airlock door and headed home. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. That was sensible. But what a great fun thing to do. And that When in Spain podcast talks about the 10 most authentic tapas bars in Madrid. Thanks for that. We had a great time.
Yeah, and to be fair, that whole night was about $100 Australian dollars.
Yeah, sort of wandering around and finding. They were all close though. Right?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. So last day. It's a pretty easy day for us.
Yeah, we decided because we were going to go. We were leaving Madrid.
Because we had a big night.
The next day and
slow morning. And
more than likely the fact that
we went somewhere.
We were a bit tired and emotional.
We decided we were going to go to the Royal Palace. Now, as we've said before, we've been to Madrid a couple of times, and last time we were here in 2019, we actually went inside the palace, and we didn't do that this time. However, if you're coming to Madrid for the first time, go and do the Royal Palace. It is glamorous, it is glitzy, it is over decorated, it's gaudy, it's beautiful, it's all those things in one. It's
and it's bloody huge. It's 135,000 square metres floor space. It has 3,418 rooms. It's the largest palace in Europe, and it was opened in 1751. And the current king is Philippe VI. Although they don't live there anymore, I think they still use it for big functions and meeting.
So you need to go and see the Royal Palace. That's a must up there.
Oh, and it's like you've got in the gardens.
Yeah, I was just going to say. So what we did is we walked. We had lunch first at a nice little plaza somewhere.
That was
near the palace.
Café de los Asturias.
See.
And Leanne had a really nice veggie pasta there.
I did.
Yeah. And it was €8.50.
Yeah, really yummy. So you can get there's a lot of meat dishes in Spain, but they're starting to bring in just some veggie ones as well. I just felt like some nice roasted vegetables, which was great. So we're right near the palace there. And it was really felt nice coming back, didn't it? Wandering around the palace. It's beautiful. You can just walk around the outside of it. And you can go down into, there's two sort of gardens there. There's one which is like the main sort of formal garden, which you can wander around and get some beautiful photos and look at the palace and the architecture there.
And you've just got statue after statue after statue after statue.
Yeah, correct. And then sort of lower than that, there's like the actual, I don't know, the more gardens, which once again have the big trees and the walkways, and you wander around there in the shade, and that's really beautiful as well. The thing I did notice though this time is they've put in some more walkways. Like since we were here, there was some gravel paths, but they've spent some money and they've closed it off to traffic as well. So it's like a whole, just like a walkway paseo for pedestrians. and with those big wide paths, and it's really easy to walk around there and spend some time around the outside of the Royal Palace, isn't it? And it's right near the Opera House.
Correct.
Yeah, which you can look back at as well, and beautiful garden areas. So definitely go to the Royal Palace when you come to Madrid. Yeah, that we would definitely recommend that for sure.
So then we headed home.
Yep.
And we picked a bar just randomly, and that was the Ana La Santa. Look, it was okay. It was probably a bit of a rip-off, but, you know, at the end of the day, we were past it, didn't care. And so we didn't have, I think we only had a couple of glasses of wine and had dinner there. And then we
tried the rooftop bar again.
Yeah, tried the rooftop bar. That's true. I forgot. Yeah, well, I said...
guess what? This time, it wasn't open that night.
Yeah.
They must have a few, like, you know how you have pickup lines. These are like let-down lines.
Yeah, standard.
Standard.
Yeah.
When you don't...
I believe the guide. I think that it probably was closed.
Stop
but
it.
We
it's
were
so
there.
busy. It's on top of a hotel.
We were there. We had to have a shot. But so anyway, I had lunch. Dinner, and then we headed
one last
home, and
hurrah.
we saw this bar, which was called the Casa Verano. Casa Verano. Hats off to them. It was brilliant.
And once again, it's right there in that plaza outside our front door.
It was 2 doors from us.
Yeah. It was our first time we'd been there.
Yeah.
It was so authentic as well. They had bottles of wine all around the wall. It was like a deli. You know, you could buy all your cold
I would
meats.
suggest that it probably specialises in hamon and cheese. Queso dishes, because they were coming out in platters. But and the wine was, I mean, the best that I'd had since we'd been there. €2.90. It was great value. The staff were brilliant. It was
I'm just like,
hats off to it. It was really well done.
Yeah, fabulous atmosphere. We really enjoyed that, and that was our last night, ready to head off to somewhere else, which hopefully you'll find out next podcast. But first question, Lyle, like before we finish, where in Madrid was your favourite place to have a vino? Oh, and the silent pause. You didn't know that question was coming, did you?
No, probably the last place. I just thought it was so authentic and so good.
Casa Verano.
Casa Verano. Look, you can't go past Casa Tony for,
hang on.
authentic.
I'm going to put mine in there. You get one.
Oh, sorry.
2. Yeah, mine would have been Casa Tony, I think. I really liked it there. But like you, I did like Casa Verano as well.
Look, this is totally aside, but the last day we were there, Leanne said to me, you know what, Lyle? I think the public toilets are cleaner than the
toilets at cafes and stuff.
Cafes, and they were so much cleaner than when we were previous. Not that they were that bad previous times, but you could see that they were just being cleaned constantly, and I think it really just comes down to COVID.
That was trying to find a public toilet in Madrid. Don't worry about it. They were great.
They were spotless.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our time in Madrid. Hopefully you've got some great info out of that. If you want to know anything else, please email us at leanne@beachtravelwine.com or send us a message. But you can check out all of the things we did at our Instagram, Beach Travel Wine, and just go to the stories, the highlight stories, and see the videos there, or check out the photos. And we'll see you next time from our Beach Travel Wine studio. Adios.
Adios.